The Patriots are now on the clock. Washington the choice, Adam. Do not tell a lie. Good move?
Here's a guy who had been sliding under the radar on several teams' draft boards, even after several big games this year, and completely outrunning some high-ranking peers head-to-head. GMs still weren't sure what type of impact he can make at the next level. One thing is for sure, he's a hard worker who thrives on competition, which should lead to a very long and successful career.
We deserve Grammys and some Oscars. They deserve whammies, they imposters. I be rolling with my project homies, it's a vibe. I just put the homie, it's a vibe. Over switch sides, it's a vibe. Yeah. I gon' do it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I but most of them. I shatter your dreams with this cream I make. Gotta be on the thinker. I say. What? I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up. I was in the double law when I rolled.
I've been rolling on the freeway. I've been riding 85. I've been thinking way too much, and I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest. I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit the picture, so I guess you want the vibe. I've been rolling on the freeway. I've been riding 85. I've been thinking way too much, and I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest. I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit the picture, so I guess you want the vibe.
Dig what I'm saying, Chanel drapes on me daily. Dig what I'm saying, sponsored by Mercedes. Dig what I'm saying, this creek alone is on me, baby. Dig what I'm saying, I'm going hard, yeah. I pop in your memory. You should be glad I'm showing you sympathy. I gave you pure love out the gutter. Ever let you go, you gon' suffer from it. I gon' do it. I gotta accept that I'm a. I pull up in several different options. That I but most of them. I shatter your dreams with this cream I make. What? Gotta be on the thinker. I say. What? I can't feel my toes, but ain't gon' fold up.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be giving up. You can't leave it's too much. But I'm tired of you, me on. Oh, and I don't like where this is going. And I've been stuck in your parlor.
The Steelers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
For me, keep your love, it doesn't feel the same. I hope it hurts you when you hear my name.
I come here today,
The Texans are now on the clock.
and I feel like that we are treated differently than other people, and I don't like how we're treated, and just because of us doesn't mean anything to me.
It's just the way I feel. Mine's been racing so long, yeah. It's just no way to deal with these problems alone. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless, and I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? Now everybody got problems, yeah, but waiting no more way to solve them.
Texans have just made Austin their newest player.
He got the attention of scouts pretty quickly when he had a game-winning catch that most receivers would have trouble bringing in. With one outstretched hand, He caught a pass that looked like it was about to sail out of the back of the end zone. He proved that even the big guys can make some incredible plays with their hands. And in a league where receiving tight ends are becoming a premium, it's no wonder this team took him here.
See through optics, transform the wisdom. Watch me use my prophets, get them on the list, and I've been on the mission. And I really can't take it no more. Lord, I'm young and I'm restless. And I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? Now everybody got fights, yeah, but wouldn't know what good advice was. Till they leave him lifeless. Another mama crying, it's another crisis. Lord knows we just trying to live righteous. Are you willing just to make the sacrifices? I know we can't continue living like this, and I never sell my soul cause that's priceless. Tell me how we gonna make a living. Hustle on the block, who gonna save the children? Man, it's all a plot and I'm just revealing. The media just trying to make a villain. I just take the pain and paint a picture. Voices in my head, I hear the whispers when I feel this way. And I really can't take it no more. I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm young and I'm restless. And I really can't help it. I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. Tell me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? It's just the way I feel. Mom's been wasting so long. It's just the way to deal with these problems alone.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
No I've been fighting temptations, my Lord. I'm living on restless. I said, Lord, can you help me? I never felt selfish before. I've been living so reckless, I know. To me, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me? I said, Lord, can you help me?
The Chiefs are now on the clock. Chiefs have just picked up Burnett. Adam, what can you tell us about him?
He's a Heisman-winning defender. Let me say that one more time. He won the Heisman, and he's a defensive player. Need I say more? You can imagine how well he played this season to win the biggest award in college over several offensive playmakers. The trophy was well-deserved, and according to Matt Miller, he projects really well as a defender in the NFL. I think this is a home run pick, and it's great to see a defender get some well-deserved recognition.
It's okay, it's okay.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
I heard he's mad at me cause I'm shining. They ain't seen it when I'm young, out here grinding. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. Either way, young, getting paid, yeah. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm popping. They don't want to with some money in my pockets. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. Either way, a hater always gonna hate, yeah. Mad at me cause I'm trying to feed my I'm supposed to make it out and I don't bring my no way, no way, no way, yeah. They ones and they here to stay, yeah. I heard he's always hating, said I'll never make it. I heard he's always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay.
On the clock.
I heard he's mad at me, goodies on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay, yeah. It's okay, it's okay, but I ain't no dummy. It's okay, though, got it.
All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
Every year, there are a number of players who shine in the All-Star game getting attention around the league. And this year, he was one of those stars. He blew up in the college All-Star game, finishing with multiple sacks and a forced fumble. The one word Matt Miller gave me to describe his play was relentless. He was on top and on the attack all game long, and he never seemed to tire from it. They tried rotating fresh offensive linemen in to stop him, but each one failed to slow him down. Now that he's on a team, he'll just have to wait and see if he can carry over that same aggressive play from college to Sunday.
It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. Mad cause I'm trying to feed my family. Why I gotta watch a friend more than an enemy? I had to stun on the dad I'm supposed to stunt with. Had to cut you off, you was on some dun. You was supposed to be my dog, why you hate on me? They say success turn your friends to some enemies. Hey, it's crazy, cause it's shining.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Yeah, but I guess it's okay. My mama told me you would show me your ways. Yeah, but I gotta check with him. I had the bands. Pull up in the land. Diamonds on me look like he's always hating, said I never make it. I heard he's always talking with them. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. I heard he's mad at me cause I'm getting money. I heard he's mad at me cause he's on me. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay. It's okay, it's okay, it's okay.
Honorable C notes.
Yeah, little fish. I say, Lord, be my savior when it come to getting this paper. Please protect me from my haters. Just say me and I won't favor. Say amen. Amen, 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 yeah. Amen. That boys in that can't win. Can't win, can't win, can't win, can't win.
The Titans are now on the clock.
I was going on Miami. They all cornballs. They can't stand me. I finesse. I hit. Get a plan. Let's go that my whoa. Low. Got strain on yo. She post up a MCM and we like that JoJo. When we out and we see him, he always asks for photo. I say, Lord, be my savior when it come to getting this
Clock.
me and I won't favor. Say amen. Amen, amen, yeah. Amen. That boys in that can't win. Can't win. Check. Going up. We in it, we gonna. Going up. Did it like my persona. Going up. Ripping up was on us. We was the drive at them hunters. Now we pull up in the furnace. Glow up. Walk in. Show up. Baby, hold up. Glow up. Boy, don't touch. We glow up. She lucky. Cause she 5 mil cash in Tucky. Told me I walk up in demons, spend 10K just like it's nothing. I hang with the demons, they don't play by me, we cut. I was coolin', Atlanta, mixed with the fan.
The Lions are now on the clock.
I got Santa, I go monkey, up that. Gonna do just what I say. Pull up,
The Panthers are now on the clock.
she's so bad, but she said. I feel guilty, I might as well just plead my case. I say, Lord, be my savior when it come to getting this paper.
Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
He was the leader of an offensive line that almost broke a record for allowing the least amount of sacks in a season. Most college quarterbacks get sacked several times every game, but he was able to keep his quarterback from going down just about 6 times the whole season. Those are incredible numbers, and you have to respect not only his ability, but also his leadership to maintain that consistency across the entire line. The quarterback has to love this pick, and we should see him injected into the starting line almost immediately.
Go up. Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Seem like everybody nowadays, Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now? I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show them how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show them how to act. Okay, now picture little Bobby, just a younger run around with his mans in his hand, feeling like a man. Run for the put it to your brain like everybody know you ain't about it.
The Browns just made their pick. Adam, tell us more about Fisher.
After turning in an average performance at the Combine, his pro day was a last-chance effort to show off his athleticism. He kicked off the day by running his 40 time in just under 5 seconds. Nothing special, but what scouts were most impressed with was his 10-yard split. He tested faster than most other linemen in the draft. At the sound of the gun, he was out of his stance and passed the 10-yard marker in around 1.5 seconds. That's the kind of burst that coaches love to see from their big guys. Also told, he showed great bend in the knees and his footwork was sharp during drills. One GM told me he looked like the most complete lineman in the class, and it's no surprise he's already been picked up. He should be a solid anchor for this team in the future.
Black dad and white mama wouldn't change a thing. Light skin certified as a house. Go figure. In my blood is the venom master. It's like the devil playing space with the pastor. But he was born with the privilege. Man, what the fuck is that? People told me as a child, as a little boy playing with his toys, I should be ashamed. And some people look ashamed when I rap, like my great granddaddy didn't take a to the back. Not accepted by the ghetto. I don't give a praise God, I can see the light. Everybody talk about race this, race that. I wish I could erase that. Face facts. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs something. Everybody love, everybody know how it go. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs something. Everybody love, everybody know. Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit back down. Seem like everybody nowadays, Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now? I'ma show you how to act now. I'ma show them how to act. I'ma show you. I'ma show them how to act.
No Harvard, but I was a scholar. Hard knocks, and I learned to be smarter. Don't prefer to be bothered. You get if I order. That's word to my father. I will for my mother. Deal with my brothers. Keep it real. Don't talk with no. Plus I duck undercover. Gotta stay on this mission. Got a vision that's endless. They told me don't be a menace. They gon' serve me a sentence. But now I'm up in the illest that did it. Get the cream look. Drop it in it. Give about opinions. I'm just minding my business. If I'm grinding, I'm shining. Don't got time for the gimmicks. I'm dead. Squad. 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 Oh my God. Fire. Squad.
Okay, interesting. The Giants have just made Barry their guy. Let's hear more about him from our guy, Adam.
He was dismissed from the team earlier this year after reportedly not showing up to several organized team activities. This immediately raised some red flags among scouting circles around the league. However, I've been told that he came off as very sincere during the Combine, telling teams that he was a team player and he won't make the same mistakes again. That sounds good on paper, but this team will find out very soon if he can back it up.
Come, better get him off. That's a floss trap, better get him off. I'm a keepy and it's a dinner rush. I'll let you finish, y'all. Block of diamonds, I can promise I'm being honest. This being modest. I am your highness. I am the finest. You rappers, plus you a liar. Don't idolize and I don't admire. Been doing me for like ever. I'm a better me, more clever. It's a new way. We surfing, baby, new way. That's a certain, baby. Let's take a ride. Put your for the ones that die. It's fast. night. Just you and I get lost tonight and lose your mind. Squad, I'm it. Squad, I'm it. Squad, I'm it. Squad.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Squad, I'm it. Squad.
Yeah. Young Gerald. Yeah. Yeah. Die line with the boom pow. Every week now I switch to a new style. 212s in the back just blew out. Everything I do end up in the news now. Yeah. Lead a club with a few now. Just some Hollywood and they do. I'm in the mood now. 2 a.m. What you wanna do now? What you wanna do now? Little baby pass. Don't spill on me, that's Margella. Got this Oakland game to tell her. She look familiar. At Coachella, what's her name?
Adam, what can you tell us about the Raiders' newest player?
When I ask scouts around the league what his biggest asset is, they always point to his father. His dad is a high school coach that knows how to consistently finish in the top of the school's division. And ever since he was able to walk, he's been on the sidelines for every game. Even after he leaves practice at night, he's still getting advice. Extra coaching has helped. Even during interviews at the Combine, I was told by several GMs that he was one of their favorite players to talk to. He has his dad's eye for the game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him become a coach one day himself. I like him a lot, and he'll be a great addition to the team.
And you know what I'm down for. Round 2, round 3, and a round 4. Mood switch when she knocked at the front door. Next up was the uproar. Yeah, was like a week ago, but we both know how weekends go. Trying to tuck off, got some places we could go. Swear she got the like wow, she's blessed on blessed. I don't GA. I'm trying to yes on yes on yes on yes. Say less. Say less. You ain't no. Say less.
Sheesh. What you saying? I don't understand. I'm out my mind. I popped. Sheesh. I swear this lock shot got me stuttering. Girl, you not fall in love again. Sheesh. Get it. My favorite rush.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Too much. Be quiet. Who got some grapes? I'm trying to. I'm all going for these. Get it. Not complicated. No conversation. Get it. Not complicated. No conversation. Please say less. Please say less. Please say less.
I'm trying to yes on yes on yes on yes. Say less. Say less. You ain't no. Say less. Say less. Say less. You ain't no. Say less.
People tryna say I'm only enemy. Got a code with my dogs, can't get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Man, amen. It's
Spent about 60 on the time, I can't even lie. No way in, no way out, do or die. So on roll, when I roll, must be. Amen, man.
I can't ride Benz, I don't do peace. I beast, I gotta eat. Saber tooth, tiger, diamond tooth teeth. Rockin' right now, won't you come peek? I was outside. The way that shake, leave your mouth wide.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
Amen, man. What's left in my life, don't know what's in store. I've been dealing with these blessings that I can't ignore.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Amen. I been on the block, my side. Run it in the house for it's 12 o'clock. Yeah, the hood love me, but you gotta watch. Amen.
I just three, I don't do sleep. Yeah, tryna sing, movie. Yeah, we gon' fall through, coming through deep.
Amen.
Yeah, packed it from the south, moved it to the west. Iced the logo on the cross, threw it on my neck. Yeah, when I rep the set, gotta stay blessed. Yeah.
Amen. People tryna say I'm only enemy. Got a code with my dogs, can't get in between. I can give them life, no more energy. Amen.
Man, what it meant to me. Everybody try to take the identity. Everybody around me turn to a friend of me. Sit back while I take on the remedy. I cannot let it get into me. This playing a toll on me meant to me.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the you. Man, know that I kick up the you. Then boy dare try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, you're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up the you. Man, know that I kick up the you. Then boy dare try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Wanna come round there like a bad boy.
Now that Moody's off the board, Adam, what do you have?
The IQ test is perhaps one of the most controversial tools used to measure a player's aptitude during the combine. Even so, there are several NFL franchises that place significant value in the results, which is exactly why when this kid scores a 14, heads turned and he found himself losing ground in several experts' mocks. Most GMs want to see a player score in the 20s, but history has shown us that several of the greats, like Marino and McNabb, have scored below this threshold. Scouts I've talked to have praised his football IQ, specifically his ability to learn a playbook and dissect opposition schemes. These traits should serve him well at the next level, though several players with these traits have failed in the past due to the complex nature of the NFL compared to college. Training camp and the preseason are going to be huge for him, and the results, be they positive or negative, will no doubt add fuel to the raging debate over the use of IQ tests as a judge of player intelligence.
The Steelers are now on the clock.
You're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big kick up the you. Man, know that I kick up the you. Then boy dare try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, I'm too hot. I got money in my shoebox. I'm the man of the house when my show sold out like the brother from the Boondocks. Beat Swan on my boombox.
The Colts are now on the clock.
Man, I'm go sick when my tune drops, little man.
The Texans are now on the clock.
Pronounce it right. I got magic, I'm down to die for this. I don't care, bro, I'm down. Man stress, so I'm bound to like my slips. Wait, I'm bound to ride for flips. Real G's gonna ride around to this. Man, I got no time to write at this. I never left my 9 to 5 for this waste man thing. I don't care what rave man's in. I came here to relax, but if it gets mad, make a young boy take man's things. Try to tell me I'm way too big to rebel. Nah, man, you're never too big to rebel. I was in the O2 singing my lungs out, rude, but you're never too big for Adele. Leave my yard, blow a kiss to my girl. Salute to my sister as well. Gotta keep trophies down at my...
Now that the Texans have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more.
Just when you thought his draft stock couldn't be any higher, here's a guy that goes out and puts on an absolute show in the College All-Star game, being named the game's MVP. Several GMs I spoke to cite that performance as the reason many draft experts, including Matt Miller, labeled him as the clear-cut #1 quarterback in this year's draft. He's never backed down from a challenge, and I can only imagine he's chomping at the bit to meet with the coaching staff as soon as possible to begin his NFL journey.
Kick up to you, them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth? Look, you're getting way too big for your boots. You're never too big for the boot. I got the big size toes on my feet. Your face ain't big for my boots. Kick up to you, man, know that I kick up to you. Them boy there try to suck the truth. How dare you to suck the truth?
Rather you than me. If you've been with me from Port of Miami, it's been a journey. Ain't nothing changed. A little stronger, a little wiser. Maybe a little more. Blame it on America. I'm pulling off the lot, I bought the cash. Whoa. Her future bright, don't give nobody bad. Whoa. Be looking good inside the whoa. But I noticed that she missing all the edges. Whoa. I run the game just by running with the whoa. Poor attitude, they got rich calisthenics. Whoa. Walking in the courtroom, sipping on the beverage. Whoa. I know the judge, so I got a lot of leverage. Whoa.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
Fully loaded on the 7. Already. Your dog did a dime, you never wrote a letter. Whoa. Still in the box, got a rapping acapella. Whoa. Kim Trezor, people with the weapon. Whoa. I got it, boy, don't make me be the devil. Whoa. He knocking on the door and know the password. Gave me his blessings while I'm hotter than the last verse.
Dead president, dead president. Dead president, dead president.
Let's go, all my little military. Let's go, I'm innocent.
Dead president, dead president. Dead president.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Let's go, I'm innocent.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
I make money. On my third passport, and I got.
The Eagles have just told Hall to come on down. Let's hear more about him from Adam.
If anyone should get a trophy for how to train in preparation for the draft, it has to be this kid. A lot of second-year guys will bulk up in the offseason to better protect their bodies from the intense physical demands of the NFL. It was smart of him and the trainers to get a head start on the rest of the class in that area. And from what I've been told, he hasn't lost a step. Now, when you look at him, you see a player that can contribute in week 1. He's more conditioned than most of his fellow classmates, and that's going to help him hit the ground running once the season kicks off.
Cause they easy. She got a.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
I got my Maybach flooded out with extra TVs. I make up every single day. I judge a vulture when I flip the paddock face.
Dead president, dead president. Dead president, dead president.
Let's go, all my little military. Let's go, I'm innocent.
Dead president, dead president.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Dead president.
Fast. Let's go, I'm innocent.
Hands on me, got the yellow brace. Check off in my pocket like the yellow paste. Was what I was asking.
Low facility, I keep it classy. Build up empire, yeah, that was my state of mind. Yeah, that was my state of mind. Keep the blocks over there, we call it Lego Land. Meanwhile, it's like it's Amsterdam. Boy, fresh, you know who got the tropes. 16 when I bought my first rollie. Legend in my hood, just like a never ride in the extra car. Dead presidents, dead presidents.
Shefty now with the inside scoop on Lawson.
His draft stock took a hit at his pro day when he failed to look natural in any of the drop back and ball reaction drills. As Matt Miller put it, it looked like the sun was in his eyes every time he turned around to look for the ball. Sometimes the receiver would break to the right, but he would go to the left too many times. Think with enough coaching, he can sharpen his ability to play in single coverage. We'll see if he becomes a starter at some point down the line for this team.
I done came up, busting down the hole.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
Setting a single-game team record for tackles for loss, he's quickly earned a reputation as a fearsome defensive lineman with a devastating rip move. Ross Tucker had him ranked as the top defensive line prospect in this year's draft, saying there aren't even many current NFL offensive linemen with the quickness and footwork needed to neutralize him one-on-one at the line. Adding depth on the defensive line is always a positive, and when you can add an impact player of his caliber, you've set up your defense for immediate success.
Alessandra Gucci glasses, the W Anderson collab. You probably like it, you drop it on the. I'ma buy another. Cause always bring it back. Yeah, you know how to make it last. Plus and keeping tabs. I'ma fly first class. Quavo hit him with it. Please don't touch my rap.
Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Don't step on my Ralph Simmons. Do you know how much I'm spending? My closet, it worth about $1 million. To the little out the runway. In the kitchen. Ralph Simmons. All kind of crazy colors. Living color. Left wrist. Roll it. Ice. Mason Margiela, my sweater. Mama told me never settle. Ralph Simmons, don't lace him. Got your wanna.
Huh? Wait, don't wanna talk about the paper. I swear to God, these be haters. They be hating, I feel out of. Live in cul-de-sac, don't get along. Ooh, right with my neighbors. Diamonds on my neck and roll it on. Now I later got undefeated flavors. I'm with my lifesaver. Ooh, feel like Darth Vader. I'm a boss, you know I'm a.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Yeah. But you know that I'm gon' face it. Wait, that's the reason that they mad. Color Uzi, yeah, he made it. Yeah, I wear that rapper, I made it. Yeah, I wear that rapper, I made it. Yeah, got that rap all in my basement. Yeah. Once I got patience. Yeah.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Mark Jacob, hey, making a place with my label. I get it, I count it, 100 on my table.
Sterling silver lasers. That's rubies red, my skin too black to blush, too red to tint, not pages. The scene on the wizard up. Pockets full of mint leaves. It's smelling like it brushed teeth. Say cheese, see the porcelain. Water, see backwoods. Raft dragging on the floor. In it. I'm torching the road in these Gucci flames. Stuck to the pavement, they glued. I'm 2.5 million in the venue and 2,500 a tube. I'm cold like I'm sick with the flu. I cover my face and I'm spring summer 2002. Yeah, please don't touch my ride. In the grass, Teddy with the Teddy. Quick with the hands ready. Please don't touch my ride. Shirt off, I'm Cam, ready. Dead stock in memory. Please don't pop my tie.
I stay myself, I never change, yeah. Do whatever, get you paid, yeah. cuz. But I still love. Got 100 different to my cell phone. Still 33 for low. I'ma ride to my dog sitting in jail. It's that lighter on the grass, bend it back, roll. I'm on Keller, I'm on Gresham, I'm on.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Magic, I'm at Riley's, let them go. Then it's right back to the when I'm low. Bars never close and we wide open. Kicking flavor with me, neighbor, yeah, we local. Rap the bottom, cause the bottom where we come from. Me no pray for little paper, need a lump sum. Real spill, yeah, I'd rather be, yeah. Broke, real, little rich. Fall in love with her, she just wanna be in VIP with her. Don't blame me, oh, they just shake me. Had to get it, how I got it, on my phone to be. Don't blame me, I'm what the game made me, not what the fame made me.
The Browns are now on the clock.
I'm the same man.
I stay myself, I never change, yeah. Dirty sort of treat me like a stain, yeah. Do whatever.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Rolling from the cradle.
The Jaguars are now on the clock.
On my hood, on my block, yeah. On my, I won't stop, yeah. Play with me, I'll let it, yeah. Halo on me, Sailor Rock, yeah. Got me with the school, Keep one, move, you my little baby boo, girl. I love you like my favorite color blue, girl. Real spill, yeah, I'd rather be, yeah. Broke, real, little rich.
The Rams are now on the clock.
With her, she just wanna be in VIP with her. Don't blame me, oh, they just shake me. Had to get it, how I got it, on my phone to be. Don't blame me, I'm what the game made
The 49ers are now on the clock.
me. I won't let it change me, I'm the same man.
I stay myself, I never change, yeah. Dirty sort of treat me like a stain, yeah. Do whatever, get you paid, yeah. Rolling from the cradle to the grave, yeah.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Put a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my ear like it's second nature. Big make me stare like second nature. Says disappear like second nature. On the same block like an hour later. Whole team eating but it's only right. There's a spare plate, but you're the phony type. J-Hut's ugly, innit? Baby, 1 minute. You're looking wicked. Hey, yo, I started off gentle. My stroke game mental. My lifestyle eventful. I didn't mean to offend you. Fendi belt saying I style like I'm mental. Moving wild and mental. I made another 5 this week. Your money playing hide and seek. I don't even like to speak. I just tell him hi and bye. Slide up automatic, high and die. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Put a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my ear like it's second nature. Big make me share like second nature. You're gonna do it, yeah, I haven't did it. I'm handling it, handy with it. Think I'ma do it, let that do it. Bang. stick jam like what happened to it? Was it not working, bruv? Why you think I'm lurking, bruv? Creep on him, lean on him, witnesses eavesdropping, keep popping, they keep bopping like I ain't seen nothing. Don't make me upset, reach for an object.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Got big body in my face, on me. Money, I got that on me. You're not popping, never pop nothing, stop bluffing. Your opinion, always destined for brilliance. Wouldn't rest on a million, dressed as civilians. All them masked up looking creepy. Park up, jump out, jump in. Skirt out like it's too easy. If anybody else didn't see me. Doing styles on them like it's common sense. Hopped out the Benz like it's common sense. Put a monkey on my feet like it's common sense. Got gorillas in the streets like it's common sense. Stack the money heads up like it's second nature. Gotta stay pulled up like it's second nature. Keep a chip in my ear like it's second nature. Big make me care like it's second nature.
The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, a little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Yes, baby, if you feel the same, let me know.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Yes, I do. What you got to lose?
You done made it to see a whole nother summer and it feel good. Stop now, top down through the neighborhood. Let the wind blow.
The Colts are now on the clock.
It's poison like Belleville DeVoe. We have a barbecue to do at 4. Swimming pool party in the back on the low.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
Food will be laid out for free. Little kids, get down. I have a bus pull up with Tommy the Clown to do the jerk. Go to work and do that dance that'll make your whole body hurt. Playing Bombardier, come and clear. This that time of the year for everybody to be boisterous. Rock with Snoop Dogg and rejoice to this.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, a little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Yes, baby, if you feel the same, let me know. Let me know. Yes, I do. What you got to lose?
Shined up my white walls, night falls. I'm feeling good. I'm doing things that you never would, like surfing with
the Steelers are now on the clock.
Riding on a bike with my grandson at the park. Evolve while I elevate. Take flight, levitate. Breakfast for dinner. I'm cold as the summer ain't the winter. Finna, bender, Kona, on a 3-wheel motion. I'm headed to the ocean. Caravan.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Up the boulevard we go till we can't go no more. It's me and mine.
The Texans are now on the clock.
And we go on.
As we go on, like we do. When it's hot outside, I wanna just chill with you. What you need, a little mind at ease. There's a little sunshine in the summer breeze. Yes, baby, if you feel the same, let me know. Yes, I do.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Yeah.
up with the roof.
Oh my goodness.
You sitting looking stupid on the stoop.
Oh my goodness.
I would take notes if I were you.
Oh my goodness.
This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north.
Oh my goodness.
Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw.
Oh my goodness.
The law, it's a shame, rhyme, crime.
It's a shame they let us jump out of Bentleys with dirty vans. Hit the stage for 15 minutes, get 30 bands. Swiss bank counting clean money with dirty hands. With some hood that's ready to with the. Since I came in, it made my name a name brand. French. Paris clubbing like a caveman. We threw up the pyramids, now they say we Illuminati. I'm a tsunami, what the it's a little yachty. No blood diamonds, I rock gold like a king. Jury so cold, made them blow the nose.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
I'ma be some type of role model. I go full throttle, desperado, that's the motto. Vic in Chicago is Hugh Hef at the grotto. Brazilian model, she mean mugging like Frida Kahlo. Drinking it with an Alicia Machado. I'm the ticket, you just hit the lotto.
Pulling up with the coupe.
Oh my goodness.
Must have done same with the roof.
Oh my goodness.
The Chiefs are now on the clock. I would take notes if I were you.
Oh my goodness.
This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north.
Oh my goodness.
Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw.
Oh my goodness.
The law, it's a shame, rhyme,
Young
crime.
Vic, the diamonds, finest.
The Eagles are now on the clock.
If I sign to the rock, cause I'm timeless. Top off the Mozzie, my behavior is mindless. On kids.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Shot the cell to the booth. Drop the.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Shoot, hope, with a club. The judge, you rappers is false flagging, you a fashion. What's cuz, what you know about? What's Velo?
The Bears are now on the clock.
Free big miss, I'm a star, chain swinging. This that music, you can blame Reagan. I'm ball mayor without paying. Y'all playing, we playing. My Himalayan. The lotto, that's a sacrificial lamb. I'm season cam, no matter, blam.
Pulling up with the coupe.
Oh my goodness.
Must have done same with the roof.
Oh my goodness.
You sitting looking stupid on the stoop.
Oh my goodness.
I would take notes if I were you.
Oh my goodness.
This was designed with the stars, the square and the cross, so we know true north.
Oh my goodness.
Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The law, it's a shame, rhyme, crime.
Every other night I'm outside with the. You ain't got chips. The world, you got chips. You could the next man's girl. Sounds harsh, but they been ripped apart my world. The way Kiss told it should never be misquoted. The that you wave on the camera, we been toting. Selling love potion my whole rap career. So your streams and downloads could never match the kids. We could go.
The Jets are now on the clock.
My sheep will keep jumping the fence until you're snoring. Street poetry, I'm more Wale for Lauren. Till the world is mine like Illmatic and Lauren.
The Vikings are now on the clock.
To a table full of fresh skin in the type of rappers we know. Got the right numbers on it. Burn the Carter down like I'm Nino.
Pulling up with the coupe.
Oh my goodness.
Must have done same. The Packers are now on the clock. Looking stupid on the stoop.
Oh my goodness.
I would take notes if I were you.
Oh my goodness.
The Bills are now on the clock. The square and the cross, so we know true north.
Oh my goodness.
Smiling with 50 carats in my jaw.
Oh my goodness.
The Titans are now on the clock.
Crime.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Polo to the flow though. You already know though. It's Adamville for real. You see ya, just take a photo. I'm reppin' that's on photo with a on your brodo. Cause that Jodo thought that he could rob a player for some dodo.
The Lions are now on the clock.
I'm so Allen Temple. I'm so England Mountain. I'm so Misty Valley. And I got a couple yesterday out of Cali. And my bag from the valley bought me brand new balance. That I'm playing with a no American dream, dusted roll. Man, she been riding since her daddy rode on roll. I done in every hole, telling every I ain't with my wife, but if she meet her, might be a go. Big fat Rick
shit. Don't I look classy? Don't act so sassy. I'm the man, boo. That's with or without you. With what your say. Show me what that.
I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but this the best. Hey, don't you see me out here shining, barely flex. I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
And even if we die today, gon' live forever. Live forever.
Daddy pants ain't with 3 S's. Little S's, no S's on my chest, but all these diamonds got me blessed. Usually I don't do this. Dumb it down, go stupid. Since 17, been counting M's, my bank accounts on Goofy. Say, gave up. Now who know what the truth is? Chicago full of, my garage is full of hoopers. Got that southern drawl and all that. My like ball bags. The South got something to say, and all y'all can't get y'all ball back. If I ain't a hot boy, that would be called sacks. Daddy fat, y'all never fall back. Like clocks in the wintertime, we stay eating like it's dinner time. Been feasting and feasting big, but it ain't no rhyme. We don't know the meaning of drought, cause we keep it so wet, boy, I swear now it's been a while. Just speaking in general, boy, there is no formidable opponent or at that bone that never step on it. When you want it, mind the kind of give it hope when they down and out. Dig a hole so deep, ain't no climbing out.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Talking reckless, I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, but just the best. Don't you see me out here shining, barely flex. I hear him talking reckless. I won't even stress. Just kill him softly with my press. Won't even address. They say it lonely at the top, this the best. And even if we die today, don't live forever. Live forever.
Yo, listen, just like I told Coco, my vision is you already know though.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Back my logo, for show, Coco.
Get down on the.
Yo, listen, just like I told Coco, my vision is you already know though. So go slow. Back my logo, for show, Coco. Now get down on it.
I go out for my squad and I put that on squad. All I got is my word and my word is my bond. Squad. Yeah, they gon' look at you different when you moving forward. But you stick to the code, you get yours, I get mine. Squad. Yeah, I go extra high for my entourage. Check my.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Everywhere I go, you know it's reppin' time.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Set it off. If they sleeping on me, I'ma wake them up. They fakers. I really do. I'm kicking up, the rent is due. Plus I got my mama and my kiddies too. They growing up. Time is moving faster. What we wasting for? No holding back. Got a lot to prove. I owe you that we all we got. I go out for my squad and I put that on squad. All I got is my word and my word is my.
The Rams are now on the clock.
Yeah, they gon' look at you different when you moving forward. Sure, just stick to the code. You get yours, I get mine. I've been reflecting on how we got this far, even when the pressure's on, finessing strong. Plus I got my team around me heavy, ain't no extra bros. You can keep them. Giuseppe's on delusional. Who gon' be there for you if you lose it all? Question that, who gon' have your mama back? Think about it, it's so much more to life, take advantage. We gon' get this money, stack this paper, and be alright. We gon' run it, keep on finish on sight. I go out for my squad. God is my word, and my word is my bond. Yeah. They gon' look at you different when you moving forward. But just stick to the code, you get yours, I get mine.
The Giants are now on the clock.
Like the way it sounds, Frody? Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe. It's too hot.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Lay back,
The Giants are now on the clock.
I'm flying past Saturn. Out of here like I ain't that savage. Two. It's like I'm at the studio with Michael. You can hear me dancing on the beat. Bam, bam, about to put a mansion on the beach. 100 Latins in your lobby. That's what happens when you're around with body. And I put that my mommy. I will never give my heart to it. If I could just make a dance that goes with this song, then I'ma be on. Basic, gon' dance to it. Basic, everywhere, gon' dance to it. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, in it. Let me breathe for a minute. Just let me breathe for a minute, man. Just let me breathe for a minute. White Range Rover, all in it. You gotta, baby, shake that, shake that, shake that. You gotta.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Shake that. Shake that. I got 2 shows, I'm about to pitch another. Throwing alley-oops to my brothers. We all shine, nobody victims. I'm on these sweatsuits.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Swag different. That's why the money in the bag different. Come up short, you left your fam. I lay on beaches and swerving whips. You ain't serving, you just an urban myth. Every day, get ride around Queens on a jet ski. It's me.
Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Patriots' last pick.
Long talked about as a top 3 defensive back prospect, his draft stock fell dramatically after a series of consecutive struggles late in the season against inferior wide receivers. Many speculated that these struggles were due to a series of nagging injuries, a theory which may have been validated by his strong performance at his pro day. I was able to talk with several GMs about him at the Combine, and they told me he possesses the raw physical skills needed to become a top-tier NFL defensive back. 3 skills in particular were mentioned by every GM I spoke to: exceptional physicality at the line of scrimmage, a nose for the ball, and better hands than most receivers they've seen and scouted. The reason for his collegiate struggles may forever be shrouded in mystery, but they'll soon be forgotten if he's able to realize his full football potential.
Picture me putting my city all over the map.
The Texans are now on the clock.
We coming up, pulling up, jumping all over your grass. So tell them I got a new girl. Tell them that I'm in the bank and I want all my 50s in cash. I'm tired of living check to check. I need 20 models. This is smiling in my grave, fresh to death. I've been Wu-Tang with a spectral deck. Yeah, I gotta just get off my chest. I cannot miss it, I lost on my list and you next. Take it how you want it.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Shirt off, blow the speakers and turn up. Pop up, go to church with my shirt off. Tell the Lord that I'm here now. I've been waiting for so long. I've been patient for so long. Breaking rules like there's no laws, and I did it for a long time. If you don't like me, take a ticket. There's a long line. Nice to meet me. I think the pleasure's all mine. They've been clocking me so long. I think they lost time. Ooh, you lost. What you mean? Woo! don't trust a. So what you mean? Woo! Hold up, whoa, what you mean? Woo! Hold up now. Don't know what you think it compare me to. Adrenaline popping, the blood'll be leaking and running. Yeah. I do what I do, I don't care if you like it or love it. Tell all of my I got a new girl. Wait.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
I'm tired of living on the edge. I want it, they gon' call the feds. I just bought a cost an arm and leg. My mama told me take it back and get a job instead. Where's your common sense? Me and the devil got too much in common, I swear. Yeah. Born in the ghetto, I never had nothing.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
How you want it? I ain't famous like I want it, so I might just throw a hissy fit. Call up Cassie after she broke up with Diddy, yeah. I told Shorty if she talking, I ain't. And she gon' call her friends up and we did, whoa. I ain't in the talking, go chop off your lips. If I ain't in your top 10, go top off a bridge. My black boys, I boys that knock off your lid. I thought y'all gon' pop off, so hop off my. What you mean? I said, what you mean? Woo! Listen, I don't trust her. So, no, I said, what you mean? Whoa. I said, what you mean? Woo!
You thought I was finished, you thought it was over. You thought I retired, you thought I went fishing with Kobe. I'm still as ill as considered as one of the coldest. Still a put a partner rapper here like Moses. I'm throwback like a molar roller. I'm cooler than a cup of yogurt. Black flag boy, truck soldier. I'm cool with laws and Ayatollahs.
The Eagles are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock.
I'm Paul McCartney, I'm rich. I'm Muhammad Ali, I talk. I'm James Brown, about to tear down this. I'm Michael Jackson, some bad as bad, gon' get it. What you mean?
The Giants are now on the clock. Let's go to Adam Schefter now with more to say about Keller.
He's one of the more intriguing quarterback prospects this year, given his background is really more in baseball than football. It makes sense then that after just a season of playing in college, he's shown enough for this team to give him a chance. The arm and accuracy are certainly there. That much scouts have agreed on. The question will be, can he do the million other things that are asked of an NFL quarterback and leader?
The Vikings are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock.
Vince, the car's outside.
Got things to do, got to make my moves. I can't miss my flight to miss you too. Boo, first class seats is overrated. Won't go unless they overpay us. Nowadays I'm overdating. My street for stay well acquainted. Their morning is calling me.
So it's Prater now off the board, Adam. Give us the latest.
He's been one of this draft's biggest enigmas. At times this season, he showed flashes of brilliance and then, during others, looked absolutely lost. Draft experts were flip-flopping on his value almost the entire season, and sources tell me several GMs were doing the exact same. He's as physically a gifted quarterback who's seen in this draft, with a power arm and above-average speed for the position. When he's playing at his best, he can be near unstoppable, and I'm sure his new coaching staff is going to do everything in its power to build his confidence in hopes of avoiding the mental lapses that plagued him throughout his college career.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock.
Montana.
You know, I'm like, yeah, nice P, you know?
What up, Pink?
Man.
The Giants are now on the clock.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
To me, them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Expensive rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things.
Man, you don't want with them, bro. Oh, you, and it better get low. Extorting, you ain't got no friends. Oh, they'll be with that like a Chanel scarf like rainbow. $1,000, this ain't your cloth.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
I can see the noodles made for poodles. I'm thinking about the LaFerrari coupe. 1.8, the option is the roof. Greens is a secret to the youth. Your goals are malnourished. Please spit the juice. Y'all be vaping, I be laden. Yes, y'all be aping. I'm Richard Mill Nation. No diamonds, just tourbillon facing with gears and sprockets with the sapphire casing.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci. But don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
I bring them things, looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things. I bring them things. I bring them things.
Here's a little story about a kid from
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
I was Benny Blanco. Check it out. Raindrop.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
We the outlet. Shot put me in the box. I'm in the box off.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Mac Miller, Reggie Miller, the killer, Canaries, Back Stiller, White Villa, Fresh Vanilla, garage like a kill himself. Lauren Hiller, get up. Crib Calabasas on the hill. I had him morning, plate. Beatles on the red carpet. Alcatraz bars, crash cars, ain't no future in front. My homie rip your mask off.
When I pull up, they notice me. Come and talk to me like Jodeci. But don't you be too close to me. Them goons you see, let it go for me. I bring them things, I bring them things. I call them, he bring them things. Mucho, I bring them things. Looking so expensive, rings and things. I bring them things.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
I bring them things.
The Colts are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock. The Steelers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock.
Appreciate it. This too. Right, tear up the rim shot. I'm going global, coast to coast like.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
I've yet to see a
The Redskins are now on the clock.
me sipping club soda. Some bombs never go off. Some stars never blow up. I'm pitching in, never in the dugout. Reaching in my and I can't take.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now. He's got more to say about the Redskins' latest pick.
Things were looking pretty bleak early in the season when he suffered a non-displaced tibia fracture near the ankle. Immediately after the injury, he was in good spirits, vowing that it would not keep him from preparing for this year's draft. A fierce competitor on the field, but also in the weight room, he was able to aggressively rehab that leg and began running 2 weeks earlier than expected. Several sources told me this sense of commitment and spirit gives him that it factor, making it easy to overlook his injury. He's a story of perseverance and has all the tools to become a franchise quarterback.
Every dog has its day. What the no tuck? Sway Lee Winter Magazine, double XL. Floss with your Gucci on, dipped in colors, bursts on the cars and the jewels. I'm a wanted man. Seats looking like they got a spray tan. When I was without, not a helping hand. I got some guys that throw it back and make me drop the cans. I told Ben Frank just to drop a pin. I could let my fit go to the highest bid. Yes, I might drop in. It all depends. Junior high, I was dreaming of a 10. I'm coming clean though.
The Bears are now on the clock.
My girl be serving looks.
The Jets are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
My Cali Bay like how was Spain. We getting to the money and you having issues. I bought a
The Packers are now on the clock.
wetsuit. The Buddha left me without breath.
The Bills are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock.
Yes, I be open to that. This is how we exist. Love the kicks and we love the hits. All in the house and I'm wrecking. If I sleep, I'm a wrecking. I'm in my own world. Throw the money up and make my own weather. Mommy playing tether on leather. Money talk, it's a lecture. 80-pointers dance on me.
The Dolphins are now on the clock.
Don't hate, I'm still unaffected. Chipper on my shoulder, I move undetected. She said, pop the question got deflected. Man, them ain't my boys, them my brethren. Let's cut to the chase.
The Lions are now on the clock.
In the place, my used to lava boys got it up in some flames. Stirring up the cup with my wrist.
The Panthers are now on the clock.
Chains with my name engraved. I told you on swing, don't say my name in vain. We bring it to your door like you rang. Spending all the money, then we watch it boomerang. With the Fendi belt, angry face like put some gold on my fingers, neck, and shoestrings. Long time no see, that's what they say when they see me, man. I've been going crazy just to stay sane. Hey, your girl went missing, who's to blame? Young whippersnapper with the range. Pause, then I went to range. Call that hottie on my stage. Long week, but a great day. So it got me like sage. And on me, you should get a raise. On me, yeah, you can hate.
The Bengals are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock.
Look up. So many.
Oh my God.
So many.
The Ravens are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock.
I done gave up so much free time, knowing time ain't free. I sacrificed it. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah. What you telling me? I sense the jealousy, I got telepathy, I got the recipe, I got the streets and I don't got no felony. Forward thinking, yeah, my mind is ahead of me. Mama said it's gonna be whatever you let it be. It's some homies I grew up with that's dead to me. It's some that I just met in debt to me. What's in common is they both pay respect to me. I get in my way from Friday to Friday. My girl is a mix of Aaliyah and Sade. I came a long way from that Marvin and I pull out the driveway like I'm in a car chase, speeding. And if my she
The Rams are now on the clock.
No text, no call, but at airplane mode. Code, no P code, no time to change clothes. Same clothes, love if you're living by the same code. G code, leave. You do that to me, back to my destiny. Penthouse, bird's eye view, that's a nest for me. I got myself out of debt, so when you see me, know you somebody I'll never.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
So many sacrifices.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Gave us so much free time.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
I sacrificed. My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love,
the Jaguars are now on the clock.
To get ahead, man, you gotta make sacrifices. That's how hungry my appetite is. Yeah, I cut the drama out my energy. Focus on an inner me, never on an enemy. And I done sacrifice my
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
I done sacrifice the club life. I done sacrifice.
The Patriots are now on the clock.
Cut the drama out my energy. Focus on an inner me, never on an enemy. And I done sacrifice my own time. I done sacrifice my own mind. I done sacrifice the club life. I done sacrifice my love life.
Also, I done sacrifice the thug life. Diamond shining, ain't no dull light. Drop my top to get my mind right. Pull up in the Rari loud pipe. Them the dime, my wrist a Hyundai. Ooh, yeah, Gucci Python. Ooh, yeah, she play with her. Yeah, I bought that new charm.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
Come see, the devil had entered my soul. My mama had beat it out. The devil, my mama had remember my grandma had told me you better be somebody. Hop in my seats massaging. Watch how I lead the posse. I made an M deposit.
Paid all these dues with the game. Sacrifice your strides for that stain. Sacrifice. Heard you sacrifice your life for that chain. She sacrificed that money for white. Left hand got 3 rings. That's brum brum. We up one. Bad, dear savage. Take her to the mall and buy her some. That's gonna wanna make your friends come. Make way with the timing. Tell me. Why can't y'all recognize that we all came from?
The Colts are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
We all came from sacrifice. 10 toes, yeah, you gotta stay down there.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
People watching, yeah, I gotta skip town, eh?
The Texans are now on the clock.
I done made sacrifices. So many sacrifices.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Gave us so much free time, no time.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
My girl showed me love, she know I make sacrifices. And if it's real love, then you make sacrifices. To get ahead, man.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
The
Eagles are now on the clock.
Yeah. I know my great auntie was.
The Saints are now on the clock.
Imagine all the sacrifice.
The 49ers are now on the clock.
Imagine all
the Jaguars are now on the clock.
Sure, all the she gave wasn't in vain. I sacrificed for your entertainment, boy, Mr. Anderson.
The Jets are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock.
I outlasted. I'm the one at the end like I count backwards. Never satisfied, details classified till the afterlife. Make a sacrifice done.
The Packers are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock.
We all came from sacrifice.
Legging with the we dump it off like V. Ramonovic. Sorry, homie, you know we not friends, it's off of politics. Politics never get to see who really running. Now you know who running. You rappers on punishment. Papa dog, they be lying on they brother. Everybody scared a little linky man is evident. Feeling like 50 way back in North 3 OD. Talking about me on some other 301 screaming 4-4 on my Louis. Papa tags by the mode on they dummy. Free my for a gold. Black and yellow with the boots and the gold suit. We had a go-go last week. We don't really care who.
The Titans are now on the clock. The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Panthers are now on the clock.
Always 10 toes, so it's hard to defeat. And trust me, I've been looking hard for a beam, huh? He ain't rapped this hard in a long time. You street, all Vita do's and dies.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Guys on my life, been addicted to the power, ain't gon' lie, yo.
The Browns are now on the clock.
Ain't no telling when we do it, we just think it.
The Ravens are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock.
North side, bumping north with a deck. When I was a baby, I was wildin' for respect. You gon' get your with the set. Around here and talk crazy, you get we ran so many out of here. Wonder why young Licky never had a fear. Say it once, say it twice, you gon' get peace. Anybody ever ask what happened with the bleach? Running from they almost had me wanna slip. Way back at home, I started yeah. Around the same time, bumping to your versatile. I ain't know who went harder, made me wanna celebrate. Now we in the game and I'm so busy from the fame. Look at you like, dog, look where you came. I don't give a fuck about, man, yeah, change. And let your styles and I need my change. DMV, I'm a year. Leg it with my feet.
The Rams are now on the clock.
But I'm quiet when I'm near. I'm always plotting on the b****s and I'm plotting on my bills. We don't need no checks from the boys. We just need respect from the boys.
The Falcons are now on the clock.
So I just get
the Raiders are now on the clock. The Jaguars are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Patriots are now on the clock. The Cardinals are now on the clock. The Colts are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
Every day I'm shot calling. I'm a spring. Make it rain just to let you know I've been ballin'.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Just to let you know I'm ballin'. I'm a spring. Make it rain just to let you know. Tell a hater get up out my face. Yeah, I've been ballin' since like yesterday. Yeah, all this money all up in the way. All this money in the way. You know that I'm walking with the bank. Water diamond on my ring. You know that I'm rockin' feel the blue. You know that, yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Yeah, you know I've been ballin'. Every day I'm shot calling. I'm a spray. Make it rain just to let you know.
The Texans are now on the clock.
Yeah, I've been ballin'. Yeah, just to let you know I'm ballin'. I'm a spray. Make it.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Yeah, you cannot see me, the windows is tinted. Yeah, driving around right in that Bentley.
The Redskins are now on the clock.
But your shit, it should be rented. But that is none of my business. Money won't stop me, go straight to the top. Believe it or not, you like getting the same. Yeah, she know I'm a rock star. Looking at my chain.
The Chiefs are now on the clock. The Eagles are now on the clock. The Saints are now on the clock. The 49ers are now on the clock. The Bears are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Vikings are now on the clock. The Packers are now on the clock. The Bills are now on the clock.
I've been rolling on the freeway, I've been riding 85. I've been thinking way too much, and I'm way too gonna drive. I got anger in my chest, I got millions on my mind, and you didn't fit the picture, so I guess you want the vibe.
The Titans are now on the clock.